Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, another day.
Another dollar.
Another dollar. Look right here. Look what we got. Oh, Andy brought me over here. Look at this. For the work truck. Some AFR heads. So here's the deal. So Andy reached out to me a couple weeks back. AFR had sent these heads. These are 238cc AFR heads they haven't released. They want Andy and David Vizar on their channels. Unity Motorsports and David Vizar is the channel. I'll link them below. But they want them to go through and flow these heads, check them, see what they like, what they thought about them, honest opinion. Then they want to go through and put them on the work truck, which Andy reached out to me and was like, hey, you know, your truck's running good. What heads are on it? And I said, well, we got a stock set of heads. So what our goal is, we're going to put these heads on my truck, box stock, straight out the box, no trickery, no foolery, no nothing, just how it come. We're going to take it over to Nigel. Nigel on his channel is going to go through and do the dyno of it and all that, and then we're going to take it to the track and run it box stock like it is. Then we're going to pull the heads back off, send them back to David Vizar and Andy. They're going to port the heads and see what they can do. We're going to put it back on the dyno at Nigel's, take it back to the track, and see what these things run. So it's going to be all four of our channels in like a collab. Like they're going to have videos on doing their port work and their flowing and all that stuff that you're going to check out on their channel. It's going to come to me and you're going to see the mechanic side of everything, where it's me turning wrenches and doing the work like I normally do. Which this video, this is what's going to be in this video, because I'm not going to release it until we get all our ducks in a row. And then it's going to go to Nigel, and Nigel's done agreed. He's going to do a video on his channel of the tuning process of what he goes through on tuning a car. He's going to break down the steps on that on the truck. And then, like I said, I'll take it back to the track, and then we'll bust it back apart, do it all over again. And y'all get to watch it, and we get to collab and be a good channel. So
and we get to learn.
We get to learn.
The cool thing is you don't get to see this kind of stuff on most channels. You know what I'm saying?
Period. Yeah.
From taking it out of the box, figuring out what it does on the flow bench, putting it on a dyno, and then all that's great. But what does it do? What does it do at the track?
Well, you know, there's a lot of channels out there that go through, and like Eric Weingartner that does head flow.
He's really good at that.
And he's very good at porting, and he knows his stuff. He ain't just like some Joe Blow with some grinding wheels that's going out here. He knows what he's doing. But you don't see the track times correlate. You see the work, you see the flow numbers, but you don't see what that transitions into the track, and that's the biggest thing. They say these heads out the box stock flow 20 CFM more than what the ones on my truck are, just flat out.
Which is pretty phenomenal considering that it's a smaller CC head and it has a smaller intake valve. So it's going to be interesting, because this is one of those things, I don't know what's going to happen. None of us do. And that's why we're doing this.
But we're going to give you honest, straight up, you know me, we're not over here just trying to sell AFR stuff. No. We're over here, we're going to run it. If it fails, it fails. If it runs better, it runs better.
That's right.
I don't think it's going to run worse, personally. But we're going to go through and take this thing and, like I said, look at them. We'll show them to you. We'll go out the box here and look at these things.
That's a pretty awesome casting, really.
There you go.
I mean,
but yeah, like I said, I got to put the two valves back in there because they were working on that the other night, just showing what the ports look like and all that. So, like I said, we're going to get this together. We're going to have this little collaboration, and we're going to give it an honest to God, 100% true effort at this. This ain't just we're going through and trying to mark up this or that. It's going to be what it's going to be, and we're going to run on the truck, same weight, same. We're going to try doing it all here quick, so the weather's the same, so it ain't like we're doing it in the middle of summertime, because you know that can affect numbers. So this is all like, I'm getting the heads on it this week. Get up with Nigel, we're going to get it tuned, we're going to get it busted back apart. Like hopefully get the heads on it this week. I'll get it to Nigel one night, get him to touch up the tuning on it, get it to the track next Sunday if the weather's nice. Get them tore back off the next week and get them back to them, and we'll get all this rocking and rolling and get it done whatever they want to do.
What I would like to do is, once you take your head off, take that head to David's, and that way we can put them on the same bench and say, this is the difference.
Definitely.
You know, that way you get to see that as well.
Exactly. So like I said, it's exciting for me, because I ain't never had nothing like this. I feel blessed that I'm able to even be like a test rat, you know what I mean? I've never been lucky. Like if I wanted to buy a set of these AFRs, Same guy spend $3,000, $2,800, whatever the retail on this. I'd have to spend this to figure out on my dime. Right. And this ain't nothing but my labor, his labor, Nigel's labor. It's all our labor with some sponsored stuff to really try.
Dave was like, I don't know what we're going to put these on. I said, hold that thought. I know a guy.
So that's part of. That's part of reaching out to each other. Andy's local to me. Yeah. We're all from the same area. The drag racing, that's making friends at the track. You know what I mean? Right. This is why, like, being the best version of yourself brings stuff like this to you. That's right. You go out here and you have bad mentality and you look for problems. Andy would have never reached out to me if he didn't understand me and see that I'm an honest, good guy that does this stuff.
And he's going to tell it like it is, folks. That's just the way Sammy is.
Yeah, and so that's why this is all coming together like this. Like I said, the Lord blesses you when you turn around and you do right. So
absolutely.
I appreciate it. Y'all ride with us. I came over here to Nigel's to go through and put the valves back in these two holes because we took them out the other night on the live stream video to see what the actual ports look like up inside of it and all that. So now I'm gonna go through and put the valves back in it so that way we can get it on the truck this week. Well, it's dyno day. Taking the old S10 in a minute over to Nigel's to baseline it for these heads. But before that, I've noticed I had a little oil leak up here about about a year, maybe 2 years ago, I don't know. I replaced this balancer on here and it turned around and I replaced the balancer on here because it went bad and it rubbed a hole in the cover. I noticed a little oil leak. Well, the other day, me and Damien was underneath the front of this thing, and because the drive shaft on it's been making kind of a noise, so I greased the drive shaft up on it, and I seen the oil leak again. I said, that's weird. Well, I seen this little bit of shininess there. I said, well, hell, that thing has to be rubbing something. It was slid back like that. And like I said, I've heard that a little bit. The Jeep don't care. So I ended up going through and calling Advance, making them warranty me out a balancer. So now I'm under here swapping this. Once I get this swapped, I'm gonna get the trailer loaded up, get the S10 on it, and get over to Nigel's. Let's get this thing dynoed. So if you look, it wears a hole right there. Same thing it done last time in it. So I'll take me some silicone. I'll silicone it. You can actually see the silicone from last time right there. I'll silicone it back up. And then brake cleaned it off. Let's get it and let's get to the dyno. All the ins and outs of putting them on a dyno. Dynos ain't so easy as far as like, I'm greasy, so ignore all that. But dynos are not just so easy like you stole them on here. Really kind of a pain in the butt to get underneath them and strap them on and all that. And that's why they cost what they cost to do what you want to do. So let me get you under here and show y'all what we got to do. So first and foremost, you got these. First, you notice in the video, when you back them on, you put them back and forward and you spin them for a minute so it'll equal itself out. So they'll get balanced between each other so they get straight on the dyno. Because if you have it crooked, it'll shift one way or the other. So when you put them on the dyno, the first thing you do is put them in drive, spin them for a minute, let the truck settle itself before you strap it. Then you gotta take these right here. I gotta spin this. It's kind of a pain in the butt because we're located in here. But then we bring this back across, and y'all just use the old work truck. Y'all know it's dirty. So we typically bring it like this and hook it right back on the side, on its side. And pull that strap back, get it centered up. Make sure you're not going to pinch nothing or tear nothing up. Kind of make sure you're clear of the exhaust on through there. Then we come over here. We grab the strap itself. Pull it like this, get it a little bit tight, and then we turn around and put a little bit of tension on it. Then we got another strap. I'll show y'all how to do it in just one second. Josh, just set it up in there. So lay it sideways. Yeah, lay it down, put it up in there. You can twist it either way. But you got to lay that sideways like this. Set. Okay, now feed that up and over. We're gonna have to get it where it's not on the
Brake line.
What? Come this way. Yeah, come around. Just so I don't burn his straps up. Now go forwards and come backwards with it. But yeah, come through. Go beside the exhaust up in there. There you go. Coming with it. No, go over it. Just go over it. You ain't gotta worry about it. It ain't gonna hurt it. There won't brake lines. There you go. Feed it back. Feed it through the shocks right there. Slide this over as much as you can. All right, now hook it back to itself right here on the side. See that little notch? Yep. Sleeve it in. All right. Now pull all that tight. Let's tuck it in. There we go. Like that. All right. Now give her a couple little binds. All right, that's good right there for right this second. Now we got them little hooks right there, Josh. We got to screw them on the inside of here. So screw that one out. I got one over here to screw out. This one, there it is. I was looking too deep for it. All right, let me get my hook and hook it. So then we take the inside ones right here. This one here. Let me turn my light on. My light ain't working. So then we take this one here, the inside ones, we throw them across up through there, and we hook them into there. Just toss everything out just like that. Such a pain in the butt, ain't it? Yeah. It's nasty as crap because all cars are dirty underneath them unless they're pro mods. If you drive them on the street, they get freaking dirt. If you're cading, you're up to the field like you did the other week, they get dirty. Twist your hook a little bit. You might be able to. Here, I'll give you some more. They help you out. There it is. Now we pull them down and we bind them down. All right, we throw a scotch in front of the wheel. We pull the fan over here. Pull the fan over here so we can turn it on in front of it. And then we have a O2 sensor that we got to stick in the tailpipe over here, which is this little tool right here. We shove it up in the tailpipe, however we can get them. And then we turn around and take a bungee cord, strap them on. So I got it strapped on where this is held tight so it can't come out of the tailpipe up in there. Your exhaust comes through here so it reads on the sensor. That way it don't turn around and you want to keep it away from any of the straps. That way it don't burn none of the straps up because this is nylon in here and heat will get it. So this is what we got to do. Now we got a little connector. We got to plug this up to his AFR box and then he can do the rest. So he uses this AFR right here, the Ballinger Motorsports. That's what he uses. He plugs it into his HP tuners on HP tuner cars. On the cars with standalone ECUs, he just uses the O2 sensor that they have in the exhaust. But this right here is what he uses when he does HP tuners. Whatnot, that plugs into his HP tuners to log it. Where you can look at it. I run it down through here where it's away from the tires where it can't fall and hit it. I can shut the door on it. I'll put it there to make sure it don't get caught. And there it is, it's ready to go. He can get the laptop and all that stuff turned on here shortly. Now this dyno, right here, Dynotech, let me tell you something. So now this Dynotech right here is not like a happy dyno. I know a lot of people say, oh, they're happy, or this ain't happy, blah, 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 this, that, and that. This dyno right here on like a straight drive car, from my experience, 8th mile time versus what it runs, versus mile per hour. Mile per hour determines horsepower. So when you run something at 8th mile, if you take the weight of it and then you turn around and go to Wallace Racing and put it in Wallace Racing, it'll give you a roundabout. You know what I mean? It's not exactly perfect, but it'll get you close. So if you say, oh, my car makes 500 horsepower. Well, if you have a 500 horsepower car and you run that thing in 8th mile and it's 3,000 pounds or 3,200 pounds, and it traps 90 mile an hour, you don't have a 500 horsepower car. You have a 500 crank horsepower car. The wheel horsepower is not there. So, for instance, you come over here at Nigel's and you have a 3,000 pound car. If that 3,000 pound car is, say, it runs 100 mile an hour in the eights. 100 mile an hour on his dyno is probably 360 horsepower, 370 horsepower-ish at 3,000 pounds. A straight drive car on here will read 75, 80 horsepower lower than what it normally does, just in my experience. My car can read 250 to 300 horsepower less on the dyno than what it does at the track. I've seen it, most I've ever made over here is 1176, but we've gone to the track and run the car and run 155 mile an hour in the 8 at 3,000 pounds, which is like 1,560 horsepower, you know? So you can't really stay on these numbers. You come over here and say you're expecting to make 700 horsepower. Well, if you expect to make 700 horsepower, you're gonna come over here and it's gonna make probably in the low 500s. 500, 550-ish would be about the equivalent of, like I said. And this dyno also, I mean, it does brand X mode. Brand X is supposed to be like what's similar to like a dyno jet. But it's got a brake on here and all that stuff. This dyno is good up to about 1,200 horsepower. After that, the brake on it just does not have the power to hold it. It don't matter. We'll figure out when he gets down the dyno and gets it pulling. But this truck mile per hours and runs like what it would take 470 to 480 horsepower. So you got to factor that in. So we're gonna get these pulls in and go from there. So we got you started in doing dynoing and tuning.
Just wanting to know how to do things. I got into cars, and I got into cars pretty late in life. But from the very beginning, I wanted to do everything I could on my own. I thought it looked cool online to see these guys that knew how to tune. You know, and this is like 20 plus years ago, so it's a lot different than it is now. And you know, I hear stories about guys traveling around the country and stuff and tuning. I was like, man, that seems cool. And I ended up doing that for a while, you know, in little stints. But like, honestly, for me, that got annoying eventually. So I prefer to stay put now. But yeah, just got into cars and wanting to go fast. So and it's just, I couldn't afford to pay anybody to do anything else. So it was either me do it or it doesn't get done.
So after 20 years of doing it, what do you think about tuning? What was your life decision on that? What do you think about it?
I mean, I've been fortunate in a bunch of ways, but anytime you make a hobby a career, it definitely casts a different light on it. And if you're thinking about doing it for a living, I can you know, recommend that you probably should not, you know, ruin your hobby. The
money's good, but the stress is not that great.
I mean, the money, you know, it's like anything. It's all in the business. That's what makes it so hard. So it's not just tuning. It's running the business for me. So there's always a lot on my shoulders, all this stuff. So and money comes in waves and everything else. And then when your hobby is also racing, you know, the race car itself is a second full-time job. And you know, right now, trying to cram to get ready for a race, for example, you know, you're pretty exhausted. And,
then you get me coming over here messing up all your plans.
Yeah, it's all good. Trying to get this car ready for Georgia has been nothing but messing my plans up. So yeah, just another day.
So we're gonna let him take it over. Let him do some recording for his channel. Where y'all check him out, Nigel s10. I'm gonna drop it down below. So I don't even know what the file number. I think the file numbers, I don't remember. I think there were 380 something. Ended up picking, like, I think he said 13. It picked up 13 horsepower over the baseline of what was last time. So in between last time and this time, I had changed back tires. I went from a pro bracket radial to a slick. So that's gonna eat horsepower right there alone. So we're not stuck on them dyno numbers. I figured since it baselined out, air fuel was in the 11s on the hit. He cleaned the fuel up a lot, picked up a little bit of horsepower, so why not take it tomorrow and run it, and let's see if it gains over what it was. So they got a foot brake race tomorrow at Shady Side, so we're gonna go enter in that. We'll run the truck and see how it does. And when I come home from there, then we'll go through and do we'll pull the heads off of it, and we'll get the head swapped and get it back on the dyno, and that way we can see what the difference is power wise and putting them heads on here or not. So now we got a solid baseline. You got to go to Nigel's channel and check out to see exactly what it did on the dyno and all that stuff. I'm gonna let him share all that stuff on his channel, and that way I can go through and we can all coexist in this world that we live in. So anyways, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you on tomorrow.